SafeMoon Army. There was a Twitter space held recently called Safemoon Watercooler, hosted by Jeremiah and co-hosted by Safemoon Addict. There are two key takeaways here. First, Safemoon Watercooler is now officially sponsored by Mobiquity. What does this mean exactly for the water cooler? I'm not sure yet, but it's fair to speculate it means only good things for the water cooler. But the takeaway here is this. The takeaway is that a publicly traded company like Mobiquity is getting more and more involved with companies and entities in the crypto space. First with blockbusters, then with Bitburn, and now with the water cooler. This is a look in the right direction for DeFi and the overall crypto space. And congratulations to Jeremiah and SafeMoon Addict for the sponsorship by Mobiquity. The second point to take here is what MetaCaptain says regarding the blockchain launch of SafeMoon and what could it potentially mean for the SafeMoon token, the SafeMoon coin, the price points, the liquidity, the entire ecosystem. This segment is a few minutes long, quite lengthy, I'm aware, but it was an important segment, and I wouldn't be sharing it with you if it wasn't. What MetaCaptain is saying is quite significant for SafeMoon. Here, take a listen.
And we also have another big brain up here, MetaCaptain, big brain MetaCaptain.
I'm actually just here upon request because your space is recorded. So I wanted to do a quick little breakdown for people on what you might be able to expect on blockchain introduction. All right. So the way technically it should work from just a true objective standpoint would be that if SafeMoon launches blockchain, there's coin now, so SafeMoon coin. They still have an existing BSC ecosystem. What they decide to do with that, that's kind of up in the air. I think more than likely it'd be easiest to keep that BSC ecosystem. So keep those tokens and do a cross-chain token pairing on SafeMoon coin. So there would still be SafeMoon token, SafeMoon coin. That makes the most sense to me from just technically what would be the easiest and best way to do that. The coin on that base pairing would then actually have intrinsic value, even if it had no financial seeding of its own, because it actually has financial value from the token that's cross-chained. So because that token supply on BSC does have value, that token supply on the SafeMoon coin now has value. And that coin has value because of that. Whenever you get all these swap partners and these moon partners that SafeMoon has, I think that's what they call it, the partner that's guaranteed to go to the blockchain or whatever. Whenever all of those convert portions of their supply over, that value on the base coin actually multiplies because of all of that extra liquidity seeding, and it has a stronger, more stable coin pricing because it actually gains more value by the use case of all of these tokens being traded and used on it. And therefore, again, because SafeMoon is the native coin holder, because it actually is the pairing for its token and it controls that pairing supply, it can then technically arbitrage the price back over to BSC to wherever it wants it to be, to stabilize the token price for all the token holders that it has now, and so on and so forth. Again, these are just loose based theories. It's backed, don't get me wrong, it's backed by a firm technical understanding, but there are a couple different ways they might decide to. I haven't seen a technical briefing of what their blockchain would look like or anything like that. It would do a couple things. First and foremost, it would honestly take where SafeMoon is to a completely different level altogether, as far as stable value for actual liquidity trading. It would no longer be in the same sector as, your typical token project. Just because they would have, and again, this is because SafeMoon has firm adoption now. If I was going to try to do this with my own project, MetaBUSD, if I decided to just launch my own blockchain, I wouldn't get these same benefits. I would need that adoption. And SafeMoon has that built in now with its moon partners and its swap partners and its swap already having like at least a decent level of volume, so a decent level of like adoption and use case currently. So being able to migrate all that over there really is what makes this like feasible in the first place. So since that part is like fairly feasible, and I think that's probably definitely going to happen, then it in like without saying it in a more technical term, it kind of gives them a money printer on like the back end, and they're able to feed the value at least on a micro scale back into their ecosystem to stabilize everything across their pairings. This is almost the same way that you end up seeing like the B&B and then the layer 2. It's not quite the same thing, but it's kind of close to it.
Yeah, so we know that kind of, SafeMoon has kind of taken some of that same path as like, B&B. I think B&B also early on they had they went from like the whole like version 1 to version 2, and a lot of people kind of they really didn't understand what they were doing, but like you just mentioned, even though it might be something similar, like the path that they're taking, they definitely are different, in my opinion. And if SafeMoon becomes that coin that people use like they use BNB, and check this out, it's not just about the value but the transactions. It's all about the transactions that takes place. A lot of us benefit because of tokenomics and everything else too. So I see it being a bigger plan. Maybe, and it's a lot of things they haven't talked about yet that can make these things, where it can make everything kind of come around full circle. And probably, you guys can probably explain it a lot better than I can.
Whenever you're talking about SafeMoon specifically, compared to any other, token crypto project, you're talking about two things. You have a large volume of people, a large body, and that produces like an actual large workload that you're going to have to maintain and be able to handle. And two, and this is far more important, the expectation level is through the roof to like a degree that like almost like for any product that I put out, for instance, if it's flawed or buggy, it's okay. My community's cool with that. We fix it, we move on. And like it's never a big deal. If some of these giants in the space that are right now, and probably rightfully so, because they have the revenue to do better and they have other things to do better. But regardless of what that is, that expectation is there. And like having to navigate and deal with that, I imagine is what a lot of these long periods of not a lot of communication going on. There's Q&A involved and everything to a degree that's probably hard for a lot of us to understand.
I think in short what Metacaptain is trying to say is that when SafeMoon launches its blockchain, that it will be a game changer. They'll have more options, more growth, and more liquidity. Perhaps enough to satisfy their 110% fulfilled LP, which means that the price can never take a big hit. Time will tell, and we must stay patient.